Welcome to episode 2 of Meet the Vegans, and this week we review 3 from Hell.
3 from Hell, directed by Rob Zombie, starring the late Sid Haig, Bill Moseley and Sheri Moon Zombie, reprising their roles from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Starring alongside them are Richard Brake and Jeff Daniel Phillips.
The movie follows The Devil's Rejects as they begin a high-profile court case which is very reminiscent of the Manson trial.
Rob Zombie has brought back many of the great one-liners from the first 2 movies, and you get a good sense that the 10 years spent in prison have really affected the rejects, especially Baby.
We meet Otis and Baby's half-brother, who breaks Otis out of prison, and then they hatch a plan to break Baby out. We're treated to the same killings and debauchery we're used to from the rejects.
There is nice use of gore in some scenes, but the overuse of digital gore made some scenes look cheap. There are scenes that didn't need to be in the movie filled with pointless dialogue that didn't add up to anything but movie filler.
The first 45 minutes are quite slow, but then picks up for the next 15 to 20 minutes, but then seems to taper off again. The final act doesn't really have a story to it, and for me fell flat. It's the worst of the 3 movies.
The overuse of slow motion shots seemed too arty-farty. Jeff Daniel Phillips brings a much needed flow to the movie, even at points outshining the main characters. Being an avid fan of House of a Thousand Corpses, I was mightily let down by this.
Just
crap film.
Yeah, it was very disappointing to say this is more than likely going to be the final of the trilogy, and it's just you can see it lacked budget.
Yeah,
massively. The overuse of digital gore just made, like, there were scenes where people were on the floor and digital gore was leaking out of them, and it was so bad that you could just see right through it. It didn't have, like, it wasn't like the blood was just like water, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was no, like, thickness to it, like realism. It was just poor, and it's like
a poor effort, I think.
Yeah, and it had like less than half the budget of House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. And as much as House of a Thousand Corpses outshines The Devil's Rejects in the way for kind of true horror, Devil's Rejects was a good film, but this is just massive, innit? Massive in the letdown. It's like, what was Rob Zombie thinking? I mean, he's going to end his trilogy of the Firefly Family. Where was he going?
No idea with this. No idea.
It's like there was such a minute part of a story, and he's run with it. It's like if he'd have waited another 5 or 6 years, he may have come up with a better story. Or in theory, if he'd have made it a couple of years after Devil's Rejects, he'd have probably got a bigger budget, and it would have worked a lot better.
Damn shame.
Yeah, and it's a real shame, because there was the movie's like, you know, just shy of 2 hours long, and you could cut at least half an hour of the movie out because it's pointless. There's scenes in there that don't need to be in, and like we said, the filler scenes, the dialogue was poor at points, but you the only thing that kind of
almost like it was trying to remind you that you're watching, you know, Devil's Rejects,
because
sort of sequel.
Like,
so I don't remember these guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, they're in this film as well.
back-
That's sort of like what it was.
Yeah, they bring back their lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like from the original 2 movies, and that's the only real essence
From House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects,
and it's
that
just-
this film has.
And I feel sorry for Rob Zombie, because right now he's proper excited that it's like rated number 2 on the pre-order list, and these people that are going to go and see it, they're going to be quite disappointed, as far as, because I was heavily disappointed.
Same here.
And it was, you know, Rob Zombie created something that was a modern era horror film with House of a Thousand Corpses. It's something that we haven't had since the early 90s. Early 90s was the very tip of the point where the horror started to be crap, wasn't it?
Fall apart.
And yeah,
that's when they started putting all them teenagers in.
It was
That's
just
what I
shit.
blame.
Yeah, like I Know What He Did Last Summer and all that
Do you?
bullshit. But it's just, yeah, and it's real disappointing. It's real sad.
Yeah.
That this era
It doesn't even lead anywhere. It's just
No.
another pointless movie.
There are high points and there's really low points, and the high points are not like something I'm going to remember forever, like something that's in House of Thousand Corpses, like the lines like Dr. Satan, you know, things like that. They're the bits that really stick out. And it's like, the bit in Devil's Rejects when Captain Spaulding is having sex with that woman and he calls her a whore, right at the beginning. The clown picture's right behind him while he's fucking doing it.
Yeah, there's none of that in this.
There's there's none of that memorable scenes. And spoiler, I mean, shut your fucking ears if you don't want to hear this, but Spaulding dies in the first 5 minutes of the film. And for me, that just killed it straight away. Spaulding is a main part of these movies.
Yeah. If
it wasn't for him, he's the leader of the Firefly Family. Family? Couldn't even speak. But
Family.
And it's real disappointing that he wasn't in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Brake did a good job.
He brought an element to it, but
like I said,
it could have been filled with Sid Haig's part easily.
Yeah, easy. And it would have been better.
Yeah.
It would have probably made the film a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Because half the movie you're going around like thinking, who's this half brother? I've never seen him before.
Yeah.
Who is he?
And he doesn't...
you want to know more about him than you do about the actual film going on.
Because there's points where you get a sense that he hasn't actually got a clue who Baby is. He knows who Otis is, because you get that sense of brotherly feeling once he broke out of the prison, but he hasn't got a clue who Baby is, but she knows who he is.
Yeah.
And then we get Jeff Daniel Phillips, who completely, pretty much outshines, doesn't he?
Yeah.
His part as the warden is brilliant. You see this real anguish and fucking hatred for the three from hell. And he outshines, and it's a shame, really, that this underlying character outshines the main character at points.
Yeah. And he's got a marvellous moustache.
Yeah, he's top.
Yeah.
It's curled to perfection, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Almost like he used Cheetos.
Oof.
Cheetos? What the fuck am I talking about?
Cheetos. Goes to bed at night twisting them with Cheetos.
You got your Cheetos in.
But yeah, I mean, it's a real sense of disappointment from this film.
Yeah.
And it was, after a recent spate of bad movies that have come out, this was the hope that you get.
I mean, this is they call it a horror movie, but there's no horror
there's no horror in it
at all. You may as well just call it a crime drama.
But yeah, it truly is. I mean, as the series has gone on, House of Thousand Corpses was your true horror.
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects, not so much. There was bits in there, but not so much. And then this just fell flat.
Yeah.
There are other little characters in there that make it right. Like, I don't want to really say it, but the midget, he's really good. I mean, for a small little part, he's actually really good.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Especially when you see the tiny line. But I mean, yeah, I'm just sad for Rob Zombie, really, because I think this is going to be possibly the end of his movie career, in a way, of his directing.
Don't know about that,
but I mean, if you look at
he might give it up for a couple of years.
But if you look at his past couple of films, like 31 and Lords of Salem, they've not done really well. Lords of Salem had...
You know, I've not even watched them.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't.
No, I'm not going to now. Don't worry.
I mean, Lords of Salem had $1.5 million budget, and I think the same for 31. 31's a bit better than Lords of Salem. Lords of Salem's just...
31 animation?
No,
that's something else then.
I can't remember the name of it. El Bestio or something, or El Chapo. El Super Beast, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, Lords of Salem's a bit off its tits. 31 was more of a kind of a take on Saw in a way.
Why? Just why?
It's a little bit, but yeah, I mean, like, you can see in the first couple of movies, his influences are there. Heavy influences, and it was good to see someone shining off what he was proud of through his childhood, what he watched. And it's just by this time he's just thrown anything out.
Yeah.
And it's sad. So, on that note, what would you score it?
I was just having a bit of a cry.
Cry?
Yeah.
Do you need a tissue?
Bit emotional. No, I'm alright, I'll just let it roll down my cheek. Fine.
Well, I'd score it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think there was
I'd
elements...
probably score it the same, actually, 2 out of 5.
There was elements that were funny, as you would get. You get a bit of debauchery in there. But the majority of the film was just flat.
Yeah.
And boring.
Yeah. It was like them struggling to find out what they were actually doing in the movie. Half
Yeah.
the movie, you're watching them just think about ways of getting baby out.
You
That
can
was
even-
pretty much it.
You can even see at points Bill Moseley's performance. I think especially when you see him in the warden's house.
Yeah.
He's got no real character to him. He's just being
Shouting.
who he is. Yeah, and I think it's just... It was, again, his performance was flat, and it's not the same from Bill Moseley, especially when you look at his other like famous characters like Chop Top and Otis in himself in House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Otis is the main character that kind of keeps it all together.
Yeah, he's like the glue, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's very much that Manson kind of character. Whereas
See, that's where it works, though. In Devil's Rejects, that's where it works. You know, the whole preaching sort of thing. In this, it wasn't needed.
But it wasn't
There was
there.
no one there to preach
No.
to, sort of thing. So he's just shouting to the camera, basically. That's it.
And that lack of Spaulding is really what let the film down.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah, I was pretty miffed off about that. First,
Sadly, he only died a couple of weeks ago.
as well. Rest in peace.
Tutti fucking fruity.
Alright.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you agree or disagree, hit us up in the comments below and smash that like button.
Smash it hard.
I've been Anthony.
I've been Neil.
And remember, hail the vegans!